Okay, so moving to topic number 3, the NHL playoffs. They begin tonight with the Rangers and the Canucks at the top of their respective conference. However, the Pittsburgh Penguins have been surging of late, with the addition of Sidney Crosby back into the lineup. And you certainly can't forget teams like the Red Wings, the Flyers, and the Blackhawks. But guys, Mike and Phil now joining me, who are your favorites to go to the Stanley Cup, and who is going to win the Stanley Cup, Mike?
Well, in a fantasy world, I would like to have the Chicago Blackhawks play the Penguins because I think it would be the most exciting Stanley Cup, be great ratings for the NHL. Two very highly skilled teams. You guys got like Patrick Kane and Crosby. But I'm going to go with Vancouver versus Pittsburgh Penguins. I think Penguins now having Crosby, it's unfair when they have Malkin and him play together on the same line. They have James Neal now, scored 40 goals this past season. And Vancouver, they have two tremendous goalies, which is not a bad problem to have. They added David Booth during the middle of the season. He has a lot of talent, gives them an extra dimension for their offensive game. They also are a very physical team, like you guys know now. They got Cassian in a trade. They look a lot better. So I'm going to have to go with Pittsburgh versus the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, I like that. Pittsburgh really is a good team. Like, they have no depth like any other team. But I think when you come down to it, it's going to look like the way I have it. I have 3 Atlantic teams coming out of the first round. Between the Devils beating Florida, you have the Rangers coming out, and then it's going to be whoever wins that Florida-Philadelphia series. And if it comes out like that, then you're going to have Pittsburgh playing Boston. That's going to be a tough one. And then I have the Rangers going to the finals. So if Pittsburgh does it again, I think that, it's going to be tough for them. I have the Rangers going to the finals. I think that just their defense, when it comes to the playoffs, defense takes over. And, with Henrik Lundqvist in the back, who's probably going to win his first Vezina. Their defense, just with Girardi and Stahl and all those, Stroman's playing great. And then in the West, I'm going to go with St. Louis. They're a young team. They really are. Have great goaltending. Brian Elliott's been playing great for them lately. They have a lot of young players who, it's not like you don't see a couple players have 80 points, but a lot of guys are having 60 points, 50 points, and they have 5 guys with over 50 points, and then it just slowly declines from there. So they have a really deep roster, and right now in the West, you have a lot of different teams who, San Jose is kind of seeing their great hopes, dissipate. They're now 7th. LA is going to be a tough round in the first bit with Vancouver, so I like St. Louis to come out of it. I think the Blues and the Rangers is going to be a fun Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, I'm going to go with the Rangers and the Canucks. I know it's the chalk talk, maybe the top seeds, but I just see, like you said, the Rangers defense. I believe they're just going to come out so physical against the Penguins, if they do see the Penguins, because that's what I believe the final matchup will be. And I just think there's a lot of hostility between them, and I think it's going to be a great series. Probably going to go 7 games somewhere in that likes. But I do see the Rangers coming out of the East. And out of the West, I see Vancouver. I just think they're a great team. Not even Luongo and net Schneider as well, because Luongo might be on a short leash in this series if he doesn't play well. But the kid Schneider is an absolute star in that. Mike, we were just talking about that. And I think that with the Sedin brothers, so hopefully Daniel Sedin comes back. I know Phil, you were telling me he was out, but the Sedin brothers and Kessler, it's just they were there last year. I know they're hungry, and I know they're gonna want to be back this year.
The only thing I was going to say, the only reason why I'm hesitant picking the Rangers because they do have problems with teams that are very fast. Pittsburgh Penguins are the best team in transition with the puck. They also like to keep puck and have puck possession as well. The Rangers like to beat up people. So for me, the key for the Rangers to beat Pittsburgh is beat up on their D, beat up on smaller guys like Letang. But I just see that Pittsburgh is a completely different animal with Sidney Crosby, and they're going to use their speed, and that does give the Rangers a lot of problems.
And another problem with the Rangers too is, and I picked them to go to the finals, so I don't want to say a lot of problems, but they haven't had a lot of depth in their scoring. It's mostly been coming from Brad Richards and Marian Gaborik. So, even those second, third liners, Ryan Callahan's had a great season, but is he going to step up during the playoffs? Carl Hagelin, he's been a third liner who's just a grinder and been playing great for the Rangers. So they need those guys to kind of step up, keep their forecheck on a high point, just keep crushing teams like the Penguins. They got to try and keep them in their own zone for most of the time if they're not getting great scoring opportunities and just wear teams down. But they do, their defense really is good, and honestly, I think I have them with going to the finals because they do have probably the easiest road into the finals. Starting off with Ottawa, and then I have them playing the Devils, who they own the Devils in the come the playoff time. They won 5 games 2 years ago, or beat them in 5 a couple years ago, and it's coming down to the Penguins, who I think is going to be worn down by the time they're going to have to play the Rangers, playing Boston and Philadelphia in the first 2 rounds.
So guys, let me ask, your final Stanley Cup champion, Mike?
I'm going to go with the Penguins.
I'm a Rangers fan. Got to go Rangers.
New York Rangers all the way for me. And the NHL playoffs are probably the most entertaining sport of playoffs you can watch. It's so physical. The pace of play is so high. So definitely tune in. They start tonight, Wednesday night, and we'll be playing for the next couple of weeks. But Loyola, that's it for us on the Cover 3 this week. Mike Valenti, Phil Fusco, Brendan Highland was joining us before. I'm Rob Ferguson. We'll catch you next week.